driver with Go Geronimo?
Yes, I am. There's my placard.
Oh, great. Okay. Where are you going?
Lagunitas.
Oh, me too.
Great. It is.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you stopped.
In the modern world, we all have the need to get around. We need to go to school, work, the grocery store, appointments, visit friends, and run errands. A large percentage of these trips are made by people riding in single-occupancy vehicles, meaning that only one person, the driver, is riding in the car. An excess of single-occupancy vehicle trips is clogging streets, hurting air quality, polluting water systems, and contributing to global warming. It wasn't always like this. Only a few generations ago, there were no cars. Throughout the entire history of our planet, the automobile has only existed for a mere 100 years. The United States of America now has more cars than it does people. Driving has tripled in the past 30 years, and nearly half of the land in most of our cities is paved over solely for the use of the automobile. Most people get in and out of their cars from 6 to 12 times each day. Foreign policy is often dictated by our reliance on oil, and international positioning for access to the remaining reserves is intense. From a bird's-eye view, it would appear that our entire society is built for and around the automobile. The amount of time, land, and resources used to sustain and fuel our society's addiction to the car creates the appearance that cars are more important than both their occupants and the environment. Many have forgotten that the ecological health of the places where we live is absolutely connected to human welfare. The promise of freedom and mobility offered by the auto industry has seduced Americans into feeling that they need a car to survive. The truth is, however, there are heavy burdens attached to that promise of independence. In addition to the taxes we all pay to subsidize driving costs, car owners are also faced with expenses and hassles including fuel costs, maintenance, insurance, parking, pollution, and traffic. The number of cars on the road is expected to increase significantly in the next decade. Where will they all go? Science and experience show us that building more roads does not decrease traffic. Instead, it usually ends up encouraging more people to drive and paves the way for further urban sprawl. The reports may be grim, but fortunately we can maintain our modern lifestyles while avoiding the ecological and traffic nightmares that are now commonplace. When we share rides, we improve fuel efficiency and take extra cars off the road. Other transportation choices which make us part of the solution include public transit, walking, and bicycling. The San Geronimo Valley is a rural community located on the edge of development in Marin County, California, just north of San Francisco. With only one public bus serving the valley each day, it's very difficult to get into town unless you have a car. Though the lack of public transportation has been a long-standing problem for the valley, only recently was it recognized as the #1 need.
In 1996, the Lagunitas School District applied for and received a Healthy Start grant. Healthy Start is a program of the state of California to promote the health and well-being of school-age children and their families. And in preparation for applying for this grant, we conducted a needs assessment survey among the children and the adults of San Geronimo Valley, and we were somewhat surprised to find out that transportation ranked as the #1 need among both children and adults in the San Geronimo Valley. So upon receiving the grant, we immediately formed an ad hoc committee to try to address the transportation needs in the valley. Now, the valley doesn't have a lot of financial or bureaucratic resources, but the valley is very rich in one natural resource, and that is the goodwill of its people. So we tried to design our programs to take advantage of this resource.
Our committee had a lot of ideas. We narrowed it down to 4 methods for increasing the transportation options in the San Geronimo Valley. We came up with the REG, a flexible registered ride-sharing service, the SKEDGE, a bulletin board of people needing and offering rides, the promotion of bicycling as a real method of transportation, and the Fun Bus to shuttle people to and from the San Geronimo Valley. we decided to focus our energy first on getting the reg up and running. And this was going to be a program where people would have ID cards and would wait on the side of Sir Francis Drake Boulevard and get rides from registered drivers who would also have ID cards. In order to coordinate this, we worked with our supervisor, Steve Kinsey, who connected us with the Sheriff's Department, the Department of Public Works, and Golden Gate Transit. We came up with a program where we would be able to let people from our community register on one big day that would be a great, free, fun party. We called it the Lift-Off.
Today, I think it's a great idea. Sometimes, you know, this valley is sitting out at one end of Marin County, and I've got 2 teenage boys, and it'd be really nice if they could have a facility to pop on over the hill in somebody's car that they felt safe in. Also, I leave the valley alone every morning early, and I'd like a passenger. So no problem. I'm all registered, raring to go. Geronimo!
So, like, teenage kids can get over the hill and get around without using up so much fuel and stuff.
Do you think that's important?
Yeah.
You know, it just shows trust in the community and your neighbors, and it's helping people come together as a community.
Well, I'm 17 and I still don't have my driver's license just because driving really scares me, but I think for me it's especially important that there's other modes of transit and other ways that we can get around as young people.
Go Geronimo is a multifaceted transportation program that was developed in the community, by the community, and for the community. The eligibility requirements to be part of the ride registry, the REG, were determined through community focus groups and a questionnaire. Live, work, or attend school locally, show ID, and fill out a registration form, a waiver, and a sheriff check. Go Geronimo drivers must be at least 21 years old and provide proof of registration and insurance. Student ridership starts at 7th grade and requires parental consent. People receive their photo ID laminates in a few weeks. The program is entirely free.
I thought it was really easy to sign up. I just looked at the form, signed it. It wasn't much to read. You know, it all seemed really safe. I haven't gotten any rides with anyone that scared me at all. They've all been really good drivers. You know, it was real simple. I just had my dad came by the cultural center, signed the form. A week later, I got the thing in the mail and started using it.
If you go to the valley and you don't have the money, get Geronimo. They free ride. And I usually get Go Geronimo on the way to school.
I've been in bad situations when I've hitchhiked before, and so I don't like him hitchhiking. I know that he hitchhikes, and it's safer for a young male to hitchhike than a young female, and so I'd probably, my advice to you is use Go Geronimo.
Oh, there's a big difference between hitchhiking and Go Geronimo. In Go Geronimo, you have a sense of security that you know the person who's picking you up. Even if you don't know them directly, it's like you know them. It's not a stranger.
I've ridden it a couple times with my little boy Willow, who's 6 years old, and I feel very safe standing by the side of the road with my little sign, and I take it as an opportunity to meet new people, and it's a good way to get to know the community.
It's easy to use the Go Geronimo Reg to get a ride. Simply, 1. Display your laminate at a designated stop until a car pulls over. 2. Check the driver's Go Geronimo Reg number. 3. Ask where the driver is going and declare your destination. Remember, there's never an obligation to give or receive a ride.
Hi, are you a Go Geronimo driver?
No.
Oh, well, thank you for stopping. This is a community program, so I'm going to wait for a ride from a registered driver.
Okay.
But if you'd like to register, you can register at the San Geronimo Valley Cultural Center anytime.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Have a good day.
I think it'd be great. It would be like having like a constant train around, you know, I mean, there's always people going from one valley to another. You know, if everyone was signed up, you just get out there and 1 second later you've got a ride. And
the Ride Registry is only one of Go Geronimo's transportation programs. A second program is the ride-sharing schedule, the Schedge, which includes a public bulletin board located outside the San Geronimo Valley Cultural Center on the campus of the school. The Schedge lets people post rides offered and rides needed. A new Go Geronimo website enables those connected in cyberspace to interactively make their ride-sharing plans. The site, gogeronimo.org, also contains program information, links to other transportation sites, copies of the quarterly newsletter The Wheel, and clips from this video. A third program is promoting bicycling as a viable transportation choice. Go Geronimo facilitates community bike rides, repair classes, educational programs at the school, and advocates for bike paths. Go Geronimo also worked with other bicycling groups to lead a successful campaign to get bike racks installed on all Golden Gate Transit buses. The fourth component of Go Geronimo will be the acquisition of a zero-emission community shuttle bus. A locally run shuttle service has been repeatedly requested by numerous community members and other nonprofit organizations. Having such a vehicle will support Go Geronimo's mission statement: to promote affordable, multimodal transportation alternatives and to energize the public in public transportation.
If you can count on a bus going one way, then maybe if you get off early another day, you might take Go Geronimo back. You know, so it has to work in tandem with like safe bike stuff, safe buses, you know, a real sense of community and responsibility to our less of a car culture.
It's called multimodal. That's the new game in town, multimodal. You don't just go one way. You have many different ways to get around. You can bike, you can take the bus, you can do Go Geronimo, you can carpool, you can take a train, bicycle. There's a million different ways to get around. Feet.
The goodwill of the people is one natural resource that actually increases the more it is used. Go Geronimo resulted from a community knowing its own needs and getting together to work towards solutions. A program like this is not likely to originate on a congressperson's desk in Washington, D.C. Transportation needs to be public, inexpensive, and accessible to all people. Instead of blaming or relying on politicians, we can put forth our own dreams and work with them to improve our lives and the environment. We have all the resources that we need.
Go Geronimo!
People asking questions to my face. People don't understand that it is a disgrace. Sitting in gridlock, burning up gas, thinking they were so cool like they could drive fast. Like the TV commercials trying to seduce you, make you think what an automobile can do. But it's a lie, it's a big, big myth. Go Geronimo is better than this. You gotta understand right now that a car's like a big fat cow, sitting on the highway, sitting in place, going nowhere. I remind you it's a disgrace. Nobody can keep it up. We're using fossil fuels like it's gonna be done. You don't know that we're all running out. America acts like we can scream and shout, using up gas like it's going out of style. We're gonna run out before we go another mile. Then we'll be all sitting with our dead cars in our backyard. Then we won't drive very far, but then you got a lot to learn.
Need a ride somewhere? Well, it may be time for you to go Geronimo.
In Marin County, there's a lot of homes just like this, surrounded by thick trees. But it might just take a good paint job to save it from burning to the ground.
These stories and some Marin kids go country at the 16th Annual Farm Day, tonight on the Marin Report. Good evening. Welcome to the Marin Report. I'm David Chavez. In the heart of the San Geronimo Valley lie the small towns of Woodacre, San Geronimo, Forest Knolls, and Lagunitas. While these communities enjoy the solitude of the valley, there are some problems associated with living 8 miles away from the more populous parts of Marin. Marla Tellez reports on an alternative form of transportation designed specifically for the people of the valley.
Along the main highway leading into and out of the San Geronimo Valley, sightings of Geronimo have been reported. No, not of the man himself, but of signs like these. Thanks to Debbie Hupsmith, the people of the valley have a new way of getting around.
One of the things that we've really wanted to do is put the public back in public transportation and provide a way for people to be able to get around without high costs.
While it may be hard to believe traffic congestion is a problem in the valley, when you think of the approximate 4,000 people that use Sir Francis Drake Boulevard, the idea becomes easier to digest.
Since I've lived here for 15 years, the traffic that goes on this main highway here has increased, at least tenfold, if not way, way more than that. And, we're looking ahead. We're looking ahead to see, we already hear all the figures about traffic's going to double or this in 10 years or whatever, and we're doing something about it.
Annie Owen is on the steering wheel committee responsible for starting Go Geronimo. Since its start in 1997, Go Geronimo has proved to be successful. For Chris Gale, just one of the nearly 400 enrolled participants, the ride registry is now his main form of transportation.
I think it's a great system. Gets me to work and back almost every day with a card. It's a great system. They should have it in other communities. I don't have a car at this point, and I need to get to several jobs around the county, and it gets me over the hill. It's so quick and swift, it's amazing.
That's right. Upon completing his interview, Chris headed for the roadway, eager to get home for lunch.
Even along this isolated stretch of road right here in the San Geronimo Valley, you'd be surprised at how quick and easy it is for Go Geronimo members to get a ride.
5 minutes hadn't even passed before Chris was picked up by a registered driver. So not only is it fast, but more importantly, it's dependable. But how does it fare in comparison to traditional public transportation?
Well, first of all, I think it's more dependable. I know that when I stick my reg card out, I'll get a ride.
Especially in Pete's case, being able to count on the program simply makes life easier.
I'm legally blind, which means that I have like 2200th vision without being corrected, and it can't be corrected. So I can't drive, and my mother's not in a position to drive right now, so I have to use Go Geronimo, and it gets me where I want to go.
And all that's needed to get to that someplace is one of these, a laminated photo ID card. Riders receive the green one, and those who are registered as riders and drivers, like Annie, receive a purple one.
Right here we have, of course, our logo and the phone number, and it tells you where the stops are, all through the valley and in Drake High School. Eastbound stops, westbound stops, has my name, my village, and my reg number. So that's the way we track anybody.
Admitting to have hitchhiked from time to time, Annie prefers the convenience of the card over her thumb, not to mention the sense of community it provides.
Definitely, I have gone out and stuck my thumb out and hitchhiked. Since the program started and I went out and did this, I stood out there with my laminate, and it didn't feel like hitchhiking. Hitchhiking, you stick your thumb out and then a car goes by and you sort of feel rejected. It's like, why didn't they pick me up? And you also feel a little nervous because you don't, like when somebody drives by in a car that looks scary, you kind of put your thumb in and you kind of act like you're hanging out. With the laminate, you're part of a club, you're part of an organization, and you don't really want a ride from anyone who's not registered.
Safety is another issue the program addresses. In order to become a member, a list of specific requirements must be met, including a background safety check by the Marin County Sheriff's Department.
They do a background check of anyone's offenses that they've had in Marin County, and if they've had any sort of assault or DUI or something that would be dangerous to people who are going to be riding or driving, then they will not get a letter saying that they're a good citizen. They'll get a letter saying they've been declined from the program.
This is a program that's actually set up for safety. It's set up around that. All the kids that are involved are trained how to accept a ride and how to reject a ride, and when it's okay to get in the car and when it's not.
As for the other requirements, all participants must either live, work, attend school, or have a child in school in the Valley, or be a student at Drake High in San Anselmo.
It appeals to a wide range of people. Some high school kids use it, and we've been surprised that an increasing segment of people who are using the program are people who have epilepsy, who are legally blind, who have DUIs, or merely want to try life without using a car so much.
I really like meeting new people, and every time I get a ride, I meet somebody different, so it's nice that way.
Cruising along in San Geronimo, Marla Tellez for the Marin Report.
You can learn more about the program by calling 488-8888, or you can visit them on the internet at www.gogeronimo.org. The combination of